Well, I reckon you have found me. I wasn't planning on speaking, but some truths, they're better known than buried. So we're gonna go centuries back, where vampires were basically meddling with the biology of wolves, humans, and even vampires themselves. Accidents happened, rare, chaotic, unpredictable. The gods may have even smiled or cursed. It's hard to say. Now, by the 1700s, man learned a cruel habit. Basically, hunting sleeping vampires, staking them in the heart, ending centuries of life in moments. Now, that is when the orders acted. And so that is a organization, a vampiric organization. And it predates organizations like the Freemasonic Brotherhood. And then you have some Southern European organizations called La Cosa Nostra. And then you even have that in the Eastern European nations. And so all of those little organizations, they're all linked back to the vampiric families, which is the original. And the servants of these vampiric leaders, and you could look at the vampiric order as a international organization all around the globe that works together for the betterment, basically, of the vampire experience. And so the human servants would see their masters with this organization, and then they created little organizations of their own, little human organizations here and there. And that's where you get the Freemasonic Brotherhood. And if you look into the origins of that, then that leads down into things like the La Cosa Nostra and other Eastern European organizations. And that's just to give you an idea of where the vampiric order is in the history. Getting back to what we're talking about now, when the vampiric orders came down of how to deal with these mobs, because there would be mobs of humans. They would break down the door, break down a castle door, break down a vault door, and find the vampire or the vampires in their death-like trance, which is what you would call sleep. Now, the thing is that a vampire, when he is awake, he uses so much energy that when he finally goes to sleep, it's a lot deeper than what a human would feel. In fact, there are vampiric historians that would even suggest that it is a death that a vampire goes through when they go to sleep, that they die, and then they are awakened when they come to. And so in that state, they're very, very vulnerable. Now that's when the order acted, and they took loyal servants that were chosen and bound wolves, and then the first werewolves walked. And so in ancient days, ancient times, you had similar incidents, but they were not planned or calculated. And so nothing came of it. But over centuries, when the vampiric order faced this ordeal, they put science and thought behind it. And it bridged the gaps to make it happen perfectly as they needed, or so they thought. The werewolves were created to protect us in our most vulnerable state. which is sleep. They were fierce, silent, and obedient. Yet instincts, they never obeyed orders fully. And see, the thing is that they used the servant of the master. They would have to volunteer themselves for this. And usually they did because they were dedicated to their master, the head vampiric leader of that family. And so this servant's dedication, obedience to their master, was thought of as the best choice, because with all of the power that would be gained, there would still need to be some type of loyalty there. And there was, for a time. Generations passed, and loyalty to the pack sometimes outweighed loyalty to the master. Rogue packs even emerged, hunting indiscriminately. Even vampires they hunted. The first werewolf walked, and history learned that protection carries its own danger. And that's another story for another time.